Hey y'all, I'm Chris, and this is It Worth It, y'all? Today, we are making breakfast for dinner, and we are going to prep sausage breakfast burritos. So stick around while we take care of two things, lots of freezer meals, because we're gonna make a ton of breakfasts, and we take care of dinner at the same time, dirtying the kitchen one time, and doing the dishes one time. So ready to do some meal prep with us? Stick around. Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to have breakfast for dinner, and since we are having breakfast for dinner, we're going to go ahead and prep some breakfast burritos so we can eat for breakfast in the morning when we don't have time to stop and either get something on the road or prepare a sit-down breakfast. So while we're having breakfast for dinner, we're going to go ahead and make some breakfast burritos. So follow along and we'll show you how we turn a regular cooking night into a prepping night at the same time. Now, what I like to do is, and if you don't have one of these gadgets, you need one. What I like to do is I like to prep all the ingredients separate. So that way we can make burritos, different burritos, and label them and keep them separated. So because we're having breakfast for dinner, we'll use some of this for our breakfast, but we'll go ahead and cook up enough to make sure we could probably get 15 to 20 burritos. So this is just a pound of sausage. That's what we're going to start with. And then we've got cooked bacon over here. And then we also have some of my homemade Spam that I tested a while back, which turned out phenomenal. So we're probably going to make some Spam burritos as well. So now we'll start with a dozen eggs. I usually put a little bit of almond milk in there, or cow's milk, whatever milk you have, just to kind of thin that out a little bit. And I think what we're going to do is we'll do our first batch of burritos with the sausage and the eggs, maybe some cheese as well. I'll put some salt and pepper in the eggs, and then we're going to go ahead and fry those up. What we're also doing now is we're putting a little brown crispiness on the Spam. We're probably going to eat most of that for lunch today, and then the rest of it will go into burritos. So we're going to start with a dozen eggs, the sausage, and we'll bring you back when we're ready to start prepping burritos. All right, so right now I am taking some potatoes, and we're going to make fresh hash browns. So what we do is just grate the potato like you would cheese, and then immediately get it in water. And so it's going to wash the starch off. And so after this process, what we're going to do is we're going to wring these potatoes out as best as we can, dump the water, put new water in, probably 3 times to get as much starch off. And then we're going to dry these potatoes real good, get as much water off as we can, and we'll bring you back whenever it's time to fry them. All right, we are going to make hash browns for our dinner. I wanted to bring you back so you could see this. This is beef tallow, and these are the potatoes. And as you can see, as they fall out the other side of this towel, we're going to put them all on the griddle. And just so you know, the hardest thing about hash browns is you have to leave them alone. And that is the most difficult thing about hash browns, is you literally have to leave them alone because you want these guys to crisp up real good. So we're going to start this big old pile. And you want to spread it out thinly. This is about 3 russet potatoes. We'll get this middle piece mowed down shortly. I'm just trying to eliminate dropping another half of a potato like I've already dropped. Now you saw how I started with probably like 2 or 3 tablespoons of beef tallow. And then I'm going to come back. Then you're going to be like, oh, Chris, that's a lot of oil. But the hash browns actually soak a lot of it up. So we've got that down. We're on a high heat. Okay, and then I'm going to come back with my olive oil. And yes, we're going to literally go across the whole thing. That's why they taste so good, y'all. All right. Then we'll come back. I'm going to put pepper on them. We're going to salt them up a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to sneak in a little garlic powder. Don't tell the kids. And a little onion powder. And they'll never know that we added some spice. Just a little. All right, now, like I said, hardest part, leave them alone. Let them sit there for a while. You'll start to see the edges kind of starting to cook. You'll start to see steam coming through heavily through the middle. And you're going to want to flip them. Leave it there as long as you possibly can. You can peek a little bit, but leave them alone. Give them about at least 5 minutes, probably closer to 7. All right, it's been about 5 minutes, and see, still not ready. Look at that. There's a lot of potato in there, so leave them alone. They're still not ready. So I'm going to show you my little hacks to fill burritos. We have 12 tortillas. I have 12 eggs with some almond milk in it, and then I have a 1 pound package of sausage. Now, what I like to do is you do 1 ounce in each. So you can either use like a 1 ounce cup like this or just eyeball it with a spoon. So I know that I'm going to put at least 1 egg in each one of these burritos. Now, everybody's hand's different, but I know that I need like half of a hand pinch in each one of these. Part of the issue that I usually have is I overfill these because I get excited because I'm making burritos. Because who doesn't love a good breakfast burrito? And so just make sure you don't fill these too full because you'll never get them to wrap. So that's about it on the cheese that I use. Right over there. Now with this, like I said, you can use like one of these little measures. That's plenty of egg. See? Or I just use my little spoon. Because like I said, you know you've got, oh, that was a teeny weeny one. Put that back like that. And hopefully you can hear in the background, the hash browns are still sizzling. They're not ready yet. And the reason why I like doing this way, oops, I missed one, is because we've got 12 eggs. So if we've got leftovers, we can put some more egg. Or if we feel like we've got enough, which, let's see, this one looks a little light. How are we looking? I think we can do 2 more. Let's sneak 2 more in. Oops. Because why not? Now we'll squeeze in 2 more, so that'll give us 14. We're going to do the same thing with the sausage. Ooh. I love using this little scoop because it's just enough. These are starting to get a little loaded. That's okay. And so this, I just want you guys to see. It doesn't look like a lot, but this is going to fill up this. This burrito's going to be to the brim full. And it looks like we need to flip hash browns finally. So I will bring you back when we're ready to roll these up. Let's come over here and flip some hash browns real quick. Okay, see how this looks on the side? See how they look dry right there? That's when we know they're ready to flip. That's completely changed. So we might have to, oh yeah. That's what I like to hear. Look at that. See what happens when you don't touch them? Like I said, hardest part. Leave them alone. I have to get a knife. This is awesome. I love this griddle. Let go, let go. Yeah. Nice. Okay, think we can do it? Ooh. Oh! There we go. Now at this point you only need a couple more minutes because obviously they're cooked all the way. So what I like to do right now is just turn the heat off and let it roll for a minute. All right, so like I said, these are gonna be super duper full. So you can roll your burritos however you want them. I kind of try to tuck the ends in. This is like a 5 or a 6 inch burrito. So these are gonna be smaller. roll it as tight as you can get it, like you normally would. And then what I like to do is I like to go cellophane first. I know it's like single use, but it makes it easier coming out of the freezer. So I do the cellophane and then roll her up. And I take the foil just as a layer of extra security in the refrigerator or in the freezer. There's your sausage burrito. All right, we'll do one more for you. So I like to pull this back, tuck this in best as you can. Tuck those sides in. Keep rolling. That's good. Pull over the cellophane. Now when you get ready to reheat these, do not, I repeat, do not heat these up in the cellophane. Please go ahead and unwrap the whole thing, take them out. And what we find is the best way to reheat these is put them in the refrigerator overnight so they thaw in the refrigerator, and it's much easier and quicker to reheat in the morning. The second batch, we're almost done wrapping all of those. We ended up with 15 sausage, cheese, egg burritos. And then we ended up with 6 homemade spam, homemade kefir cheese, egg burritos. So 21. We ended up with 21. And we ate a really good dinner, breakfast for dinner. And the reason why I like doing this is because there's the dishes. So we were gonna have dishes anyway, so why not meal prep at the same time? Okay, let me tell you what, dinner, phenomenal. We ate my homemade spam, and if you wanna see a video about how to make homemade spam out of your leftover ham that you eat for Christmas or Easter, you better hit the like button. I need a ton of likes so I will make my homemade spam again with a ham that I have in the freezer that I'm getting ready to use anyway for lunches. So smash the like button if you want to see it. Thank you so much for taking your time to spend with me today. I'll tell you what, is it worth it to make breakfast burritos in the morning and just do a whole bunch of them all at once? Yeah. Because even if you go into the freezer section at the grocery store, or if you drive through your favorite drive-through and you get your sausage burrito, which nowadays they don't put anything in them. It's all bread, but that's my opinion. So y'all go ahead and do your drive-through thing. I'm going to do my defrost and reheat thing. So is it worth it to me to make your breakfast meals to go in the morning? Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And you can make them any way you want them. So the versatility of it is just phenomenal. And breakfast for dinner, y'all, I don't care who you are. That's just darn good. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today, subscribing to the channel, and I hope you got something from it. And on that note, we'll see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.